going on, 49er faithful, 49er fan, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it, man. This probably has to be one of the most bittersweet wins of all time for me. Are you happy that you got the win? You happy that you finally beat the Seahawks? That Pete Carroll finally didn't have Shanahan's number? You're happy at all of that. You really are. But what's worse, we lost our starting quarterback for the season. Now, in this instance, I will say that you probably have, what's going on, J.R. Meadows? In this instance, I'll say that you probably have a few people out there that are happy. That are actually happy that Trey Lance got hurt. Those aren't real faithful. I was not happy when Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. I was more so angry because he didn't just go out of bounds instead of trying to pirouette a couple years ago when he thought he was a running back, and that's just not what he does. You're never happy when any player gets injured because that means that's slowing them down, that's stopping their money. There's a variety of things that come into play with that. Trey Lance is scheduled to have surgery today. Hopefully the surgery goes well. Please, dear Lord, guide the surgeon's hands. Allow them to be able to make sure that they do the correct surgery properly the first time without hesitation, with no issues or problems. Let Trey Lance have a speedy recovery. Let the young kid be blessed to have a strong mental and not let this defeat him or put him into a dark place, and continue to bless him throughout his life. In Jesus' name, amen. So, for me, we won. We did. We won. Not with the quarterback I wanted us to win with, but we got the W regardless. I'm going to say this, and I have a hard time believing anything otherwise. I don't know if this was sabotage or not, but it kind of feels like it. When the Washington Redskins at the time drafted Robert Griffin III, Kyle and his dad didn't want him. The front office wanted him. So what happens? They go ahead and they do whatever. They just run whatever. They don't really care. The style of quarterback that they like is your typical average, everyday Caucasian quarterback that stands in the pocket, doesn't move, and has a slight mobility, but he's more so a standing in the pocket type of dude. He doesn't go anywhere. That's what they like. It is what it is. And you can't tell me different, and you can't show me different. And if you got anything to prove to me that that's different, by all means, show me. Because I can tell you right now, not one of them has had a black quarterback where they were actually overly successful. Even with RG3, when they went to the playoffs, more so a lot of that was based off the fact that Alfred Morris was doing this home run hit celebration more often than not that year, because the run game was pretty nasty. And I can appreciate that. But it's just not the style of quarterback that they prefer to go with, and I can completely understand that. That's cool. You know what I mean? And for me, I just feel like it was a really bad situation. And, you know, when Kyle was asked about it, he got a little defensive, got a little salty. You know what I mean? And it's almost to a point where outside of the players, Kyle didn't seem too remorseful about the fact of Trey Lance getting injured. He just kind of felt like, well, you know, in the moment you feel bad, but then you turn around and go, there's still a game to play, so next man up. Whoa, look, I got Jimmy Garoppolo. The other reason that I feel it was sabotage is we ran the ball 12 times and threw the ball 3 times when Trey Lance was in. The minute Trey Lance goes out, we start running everything under the sun, passing the ball, which to me makes absolutely no sense. How is it that when Trey is in, you don't trust him to throw the ball, but the minute Jimmy comes in, oh, now we got to throw the ball all over the damn field? And this is not Jimmy's strong suit. It was said that Danny Gray and Jimmy had a little bit of words because he missed him twice when he was wide the fuck open. Well, I'm sorry, Danny Gray. You, unfortunately, are going to be non-existent unless you start learning how to run some routes and become a slot guy. Because Your speed, your top end speed, is only going to matter with the ball in your hands, and the only way you're getting the ball is if you're running anything under 20 yards. Jimmy doesn't throw deep. Everybody knows this. This is his Achilles heel. It's been this way for years. He just doesn't throw deep. And it's extremely unfortunate, but it kind of is what it is. So when you look at it as a whole, I feel like this was open sabotage. I feel like Kyle really didn't want Trey Lance. I feel that the front office looked at him and said, you're not drafting another fucking Jimmy Garoppolo that's just a little bit younger. That obviously hasn't worked. So you're going to have to go a different direction. And that's why he went that direction. Because he said there were two totally different playbooks for Jimmy and for Trey. Didn't look like it to me yesterday, because when Jimmy came in, they didn't skip a fucking beat. Everything seemed to be easily done. Everything was okay, and he just started throwing all over the field. Now, what's funny is, that first series he had, everybody was like, whoa, man. Christian was even complimenting him, saying his arm looked stronger, the whole 9 yards. What's up, Cook Sports? But the next thing that happens in the second half, Jimmy shows up. He's the same guy that he is. Hospital balls, missing players, inaccuracy. He wasn't really, that wasn't really his thing. Give me just a sec. Sorry, just need a little more lighting. It looks weird when I got one side of my face pretty dark. But Jimmy decided, Kyle, he's never liked a mobile QB, man. And for him to, what's up, CJ? At the end of the day, for me, he never likes mobile quarterbacks. It's just not his thing. And he should have understood that from the jump. Why would you take a mobile quarterback when, I'm getting to that, Cook Sports. Exactly. Why would you take a mobile quarterback if you don't like him? That's just it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Like, there's quarterbacks that you can win with. There's quarterbacks you can play with. I think Kyle's dad had Donovan McNabb for a little bit, but he never won anything with Donovan McNabb. Shanahan won a Super Bowl with us as an offensive coordinator. He won 2 Super Bowls with John Elway as his quarterback in Denver, and he never won another Super Bowl again. And that's no disrespect to Kyle Shanahan, to Mike Shanahan, because Mike was a great coach. Mike had the killer instinct that Kyle doesn't possess. So I don't want people to think that this is a show where I'm just going to bash on Kyle. I'm just stating facts and stating what I see. So here's the thing. What's up, Brandon? Here's the thing for me. You come in, you look at the game as a whole, you say we won, everything is cool. When I did the post game yesterday with the High family, there were a couple people in the chat that were basically saying, you guys suck. Why are you, so sad we won? And it's like, you can be a casual fan and feel that way. That's your prerogative. You do that. I'm not going to feel that way because I just lost my franchise quarterback, the guy that I believe in, the guy's jersey that I'm wearing in this picture that you see behind me. That's the guy I believe in. That's the guy that I wanted. I didn't want Jimmy Garoppolo. I wanted him gone. I was banking on him being cut. Now, are the commentators, the pundits, the media going to come out and say the 49ers look ridiculously smart for keeping Jimmy Garoppolo? Of course. And does this situation, support that? Yeah, honestly, it does. But here's the biggest problem that I have. Why would you run your quarterback into the ground like that? Why? And him having the nerve to say, they do it in Buffalo. They planned for that in Buffalo. And I guarantee you there's probably a lot better protection when he's doing stuff like that. And Josh Allen doesn't slide. Matt Mayoko said he could have slid on that play and saved himself. I watched the play. He couldn't have slid. Even if he did, it wouldn't have made a difference. What you have to realize is you got to let the kid develop. And this is another year off of his development. Now, obviously, 10 isn't going anywhere for the rest of the year. Brock Purdy's most likely being called up from the practice squad due to the injury. And he'll be the backup quarterback. And I'll have to sign another guy to the practice squad. But the real problem is the way this looks. They screwed RG3 when they were there. Mike and Kyle did when they were there in Washington. And basically his career was never the same after he left the Skins. And they just screwed Trey Lance. Or Kyle just screwed Trey Lance. You ran him, and boom, look, his ankle's fucked up. And the crazy thing is the adrenaline's flowing, the game is going so much that he didn't even realize he was hurt. I think they said he either got up or sat up, and then he realized, holy shit, look at my damn ankle. So when Jimmy comes in, the crowd cheers. There's people that are in the crowd, bring Jimmy back, stuff like that. And it's really shitty because all of the players are there, they're rallying, but it's weird how the dynamic changed as soon as he came in the game. And it makes me believe that, honestly, this team was never Trey's to begin with because you still had 10 here. And that's a problem in the locker room. And I said that and nobody wanted to believe me. Everybody thought I was, oh no, Kyle came out and said it. This is his team. Rah, rah, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. To me, it was a crock of shit. And it was the worst thing in the world. Because if this is Lance's team, why wouldn't you announce that when everybody knew you were openly trying to move Jimmy Garoppolo? Everybody knows you move forward. Everybody knows you were trying to move on. So somebody explain to me why on God's green earth you had the nerve to sit up there and hold that information almost all the way until the end of fucking training camp. You would not give this kid the satisfaction to know that this is his fucking team. Openly, in the public. I don't care if you told it to him behind closed doors. I don't care what you told Jimmy. None of that. Now, what if this was a 4 to 6 week injury? Would that be a situation where you give the team back to Trey? Probably not. You probably look at him and say, hey, we're just going to let Jimmy finish out this year. We'll use you if we need you. Because last year when you were bouncing Trey in and out, you listened to the team. The team said they didn't want him in and out of the lineup because it was messing with Jimmy's continuity. He couldn't build, then he can't get to a rhythm, and it was messing with his leadership. So you listen. So what makes it different this year that you won't listen now? There are staunch Jimmy G supporters on this fucking team. Trent Williams has said it. Devo has come to his defense. When Tark was here, he came to his defense. You know Kittle loves him, even though he don't even talk to Kittle. He's probably one of the worst friends in the fucking world from a personal standpoint, at least from what Kittle has said openly in the public. And Mike McGlinchey is a diehard Jimmy G supporter. Juice as well. So it's kind of like you got all these guys that like one dude, but you're telling them you got to move forward to another guy, but you still got that same guy in the locker room. That creates dissension within the ranks. Everybody knows that. McGlinchey, we all know he's suspect as a pass blocker as it is. But your quarterback just got sacked and you ran off the field. You didn't turn around and go pick your goddamn quarterback up? Obviously, you didn't listen to coach when he said that's the guy. This is your new quarterback. Get behind him. All you did was let the defender go by you to get to your quarterback. And I appreciate that, Terradome. Yes, I appreciate that. Smash that like button. And what kills me is a lot of people will be like, oh, well, there's conspiracy theories about this, that, and the third. I'm sorry, there's nothing. There's no conspiracy theory. If you don't believe me, look at what the fuck happened with RG3. Was his career ever the same after he destroyed his leg? Why? Because he was running. Kyle doesn't know what to do with the mobile quarterback. He only knows what to do with the limited mobile quarterback. A guy who can barely run. A guy who does not have that as a serious threat. Because you know what happened? Jimmy came in the game and the run game all of a sudden disappeared. They start stacking the box again. It's easier to stop the run game when you don't have a viable threat in a runner as the quarterback. But the run game was working well. There was nothing about this run game that was trash. Everything seemed to be fine to me. Jefferson Jr. even looked good. And none of us expected that shit. TDP looked good. You know what I'm saying? Deebo Samuel was averaging 13.3 yards a carry. Jefferson Jr., 4.7. You see what I'm saying? So those numbers right there tell you the run game was doing perfectly fine. You didn't really need to run Lance like that. You had Deebo, you had TDP, you had Jeff. You even had Jordan Mason up. Get the kids some opportunity to be able to run. But no, let's run our quarterback into the ground. Now he's injured, out for the year. Oh, by the way, I truly could give a fuck. I'm just going to move on to Jimmy. The guy you've been trying to get rid of for years. And anybody saying that they don't want Shanahan here, newsflash, Jed York believes in him, so he's here for another 6 years. So we're stuck with this. That's not going to change. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit up here and make it seem like, I hate Kyle or anything like that, because I don't hate anyone. I don't know these people personally to hate them. I don't like what they do on the field, and I don't like how he coaches sometimes. And I guarantee you're going to see the same motherfucking Garoppolo. He showed up in the second half because he looked great. 8 of 11 in that first half, and after that, nothing. Yeah, he ran for the touchdown, but who the fuck can't do a quarterback sneak? It's really fucking easy. It's not hard. You see what I'm saying? So when if we wind up making the playoffs this year, it'll be another situation where 10 is just along for the ride, because every year in the playoffs that we've been there, he's been along for the ride. He's not the reason that we win. He's just there. And if you look at it, what happened yesterday? Bubble screens, short passes, simple throws. And what else happened after that? Lots of yards after the catch. Like, this is obvious. This is what Shanahan's offense is built around. Now, maybe Trey Lance isn't the best short pass thrower, but at the end of the day, you got to make the kid. You have to give the kid the opportunity. You have to tell him, hey, look, man, you got to work on that. We're going to run some of these during the game. I expect you to hit them. Be able to make sure that you get these passes out, get them out quick, get them out accurately, so these guys can make plays. Don't worry about it being behind the line of scrimmage. All of these guys do this shit. This is what they do. This is their specialty. They're the Yak Bros for a reason. And what kills me is George Kittle's been injured these past 2 weeks. Ain't been able to go. I guarantee you George Kittle going to be healthy next week. I guarantee you he's going to be going. Like, it kills me because I feel like this was open sabotage, and I don't like the fact that so many people are out here giving Kyle Shanahan a fucking pass. Everybody's out here, oh, well, he didn't do it on purpose. I don't think he would do that. So why would you run your quarterback that many fucking times? Then when the backup quarterback comes in, you want to throw the ball all over the goddamn field. Sounds suspect to me. Look like a duck, walk like a duck, quack like a duck, and act like a duck. It is a fucking duck. But everybody else, man, they going to go ahead and they going to be docile and calm. And, well, Kyle, he would never do anything like that. And now that I've had time to think about it and all this other stuff, and I'm not taking shots at nobody specifically. I'm just saying there's going to be content creators out there that will go with the narrative. They will roll with what the media says. They will, they will capitulate to what the team wants. Greg Papa is over there, doing his thing, and you already know how he is. He ain't going to do nothing but jump off the train and go right back to the gym train. I expect him to do nothing less because he works directly for the team. Rondo, oh my God, I'm pretty sure he had a fucking field day. I'm sure he was happy as hell. Jimmy's back, great. Now I can put him back up on my screen. And what the fuck? But you wouldn't put Trey Lance up on your screen. But you now had the nerve to put Jimmy and Joe Montana on the other side, as if he's done any fucking thing. So, for me, it's just a situation where I'm pissed off that we lost our starting quarterback, our franchise guy, the guy that we moved heaven and earth for as far as draft picks to go get, and now he's out for the season. And we don't know what happens next season. Next season is still another season where 49er fans have to deal with what may come because Trey Lance is going to have a lot of ups. He's going to have a lot of downs. And, he's going to wind up, still growing and developing. This is another year behind the 8 ball for the kid. And I feel like this year was going to be his year. I feel like we were running a great game. And I felt like things were going well until he got injured. But that's on him. You can't, you cannot run a quarterback into the ground, expect him to stay healthy, and then come out in a post-game press conference and say they do it in Buffalo all the time. Josh Allen's a whole different quarterback, and he's already in his third or fourth year. Like, he knows what he is. He knows what to do. He knows how to do things. And Josh Allen don't slide all the time. So the sliding is for quarterbacks that know they can't protect themselves. Also, it's an easy way to get a free penalty. But I'm sorry, Trey Lance's injury is on Kyle Shanahan. And he's going to have to live with that. But his stubbornness doesn't allow him to do certain things. It won't even allow him to move on from players. If you don't believe me, we drafted Joe Williams. He quit just like he did when he was in college at Utah. We drafted Dante Pettis. He was trash. The boy had all the talent in the world. Didn't have it up here. You know what I'm saying? And these are things that happen that are very, very unfortunate, man. And it sucks because it takes away from the good in this game. So I'm going to get off of that. But that was just me on my soapbox. And I'm telling y'all, we have a big situation to deal with, and we got a head coach that needs to figure out, do I really like this kid? Because if you moved all those draft picks and you cut this kid or you don't like him or you continually run him like this and he keeps getting injured, you're going to fuck his career off. And it's not fair to the kid. You should have never drafted him if you didn't want him. That's all I'm saying. So, this not outside the realm of possibility. I wouldn't doubt it. They might give 10 a fucking extension. I don't doubt it. I truthfully don't, man. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't put it past him, bro. I really wouldn't. And that well said, CJ. You do not use that player as a runner when you go all the way up to 3 to get him. Crazy Juice, we all feel the same, baby. We just want him to have a speedy recovery and let him be able to get back on the field. And David McNew says QB run plays shouldn't get called with our loaded running back room. Facts. All facts, my guy. CJ Gray says what people, Dion, what people that are so happy now don't realize is that we was going to the playoffs no matter what with this team. And the question is, do you want the same OG or develop player that's better? Facts. Straight facts, man. And that's just how I felt. CJ says, also after this season, the bill for our talent is due, and we can't pay, we can't pay for an established QB and can't trade for one, can't pick one. Those are facts, man. It's just these situations are really, really horrible. Lee said Lance is a Watson Mahomes type speed. They never have QB runs called. They just use their legs to extend plays. And that's the whole point of it. See, with a quarterback like Lance, he can win from the pocket. I know he can. So what you do is you tell him, hey, if you make your reads and the pocket collapses, there's no one there, get the fuck out of there. Make the play. Protect yourself, but make the play. That's all you tell the kid. You tell him your option is to pass first, not run first. Unless it's a design play. And then even if it is a design play, I'm going to design the play so that these guys know what's going on. They can protect you. And at the same time, you need to protect yourself. But that wasn't what was done. You know what I'm saying? That's not what was done. And, I appreciate that, Terradome. Finally a real 49er, not acting like not drinking, acting and toting that Shanahan water. I don't do that shit, man. I'm going to never be that guy. I can't automatically agree with him and just think that he knows everything and that everything he's done is right and not hold him accountable. No one is above reproach. Whether that be Jed, John, Kyle, Adam Peters, D'Amico Ryans, anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one is not to be held accountable. I mean, no one is above reproach where they can't be held accountable, should I say. You know, Shanahan is a trust fund kid with his dad's offense and some pre-snap motion, like getting to dad's second hand car and putting 10 rims on. Yeah. That's facts. That's exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? And for me, when you look at it, it's a crazy situation. And I don't like the fact that he did what he did, but, you know, it's crazy. Rocky Mountain Razorback says it's already, you know, fucked up, Deion. The kid will go now 4 years basically without playing. Those are facts. Those are all facts. We got Bosa on the 5th year. Debo contract kicks in. We paying Kittle, Williams, and Warner. Yeah. That cap space is going to start to get real motherfucking tight. And we're going to start to see some casualties due to such. CJ Gray out there, those are facts, my guy. Those are facts. Yeah, and this is just what I said. Trey Lance got RG3. Media opposition, and some players knew it. Kyle is a snake. That's why they call him Kyle E. Coyote. You know, you are who I knew you were. Those are facts, man. You know, and it sucks that that's the situation that's going on. CJ says, to be honest, Trey could have been hurt scrambling, but design QB runs increase the odds. Yes, whenever you run, you're taking a chance. It doesn't matter whether you're a running back, whether you're a quarterback, whatever. You take a chance when you become a runner. Once you pass that line of scrimmage, yes, it is definitely a problem. So, unfortunately, Trey Lance is out for the year. That hurts. We're all hurt behind it. There's some people that are, you know, that are happy about it, you know, and those aren't real faithful because, like I said, I wasn't happy when Jimmy got hurt. Not by any stretch of the imagination. No matter how much I don't care for what he does on the field, there are times where he makes a few plays here and there. It's not all the time, and it's very inconsistent, and that's part of the reason that I don't care for him as a football player. But it's definitely different. You know, Shanahan, expert choker, not a leader of men, doesn't pass the foxhole test. Hashtag Marty Schottenheimer 2.0. And here's the issue. The reason that people say that Shanahan can't get it done is because he lost in the Super Bowl on several occasions. He had a lead versus the Patriots I think it was with the Falcons, and he wound up blowing that. He had the lead in the Super Bowl with us in 2019, but he got comfortable and gave Patrick Mahomes an opportunity. And you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. I'm sorry. There's no way that all playoff season 2019, you watch Patrick Mahomes do nothing but come back. He was getting beat down. He would come back and win every fucking game. But you had the nerve to get comfortable and then openly state such. Oh, I was comfortable with our lead, so, you know, that's why I didn't call a timeout. It's Patrick fucking Mahomes. You better call the motherfucking timeout and try to go at least get 3 more points. Make this game a little bit easier. Make it a little bit further away. You have to move that goalpost a million times over when you're playing a player like Patrick Mahomes because the kid is just ridiculously talented. And you know he's coming. You know it. And honestly, if we wind up in a situation where we just get to the playoffs but we wind up getting put out, this is a good thing for Jimmy. Because this is basically an audition for his next team. Because the 49ers seem to want to give him all the power in a contract, which makes no fucking sense. So all those incentives that you just gave him, he now will reach. The man made $350,000 just by playing yesterday. That was part of his incentive. So he just made 350 G's just for going out and doing a couple small things. Playing 30 minutes? You literally played 30 to 40 minutes, if that? And you made 350 G's? People could barely even make that in a lifetime. This motherfucker made that shit in not even an hour. Great for him, great for his team, great for Don Yee, but not for us. Because we lost our franchise quarterback in the process. So all his incentives get met now, so his contract balloons to somewhere between 16 to 18 million. And you don't know what he does in the playoffs. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, he doesn't do anything in the playoffs. He doesn't show up. He winds up fucking everything up. And it's just the worst situation ever. And what killed me was when he scored that touchdown, everybody rallied around him, slapped him on the head. Everybody was happy. And I don't anticipate the team to be rude and negative and be mean to you, when you're on the field, or in the locker room or anything like that. I anticipate the team to be able to embrace you and say, you know what, this next man up, I get that. But show some remorse for losing your franchise guy. Show the pain. It hurts. They acted like Jimmy Garoppolo was fucking Superman or something. You know what I mean? And it's trash. So let's get to the good points of the game. And one more thing on Kyle. Kyle actually said he gave the defense shit about not shutting out the Seahawks. Kyle, you can't give them shit about doing something that they did. They shut them out. That was a special teams play where they scored. That does not count against the defense. That counts against special teams. That counts against Ross fucking Dwelly for not knowing how to block. Because he let that guy walk right past him, and that was his assignment, to block that one person. And we have an extra 3 points. It's not that hard. So why don't you go give Ross Dwelly shit for the shutout that we could have had if he'd have just done his fucking job? But you can't give that. You can't give. If I was D'Amico Ryans, I'd have been like, don't give my guys nothing. Don't say shit. They shut these motherfuckers out. We didn't allow a point on offense. And you know what we did? We exposed the Seahawks. We let everybody know that first week was a fraud. And you know why? Because here's the stats. Geno Smith, 24-30. That is a ridiculously good completion percentage. You know what I'm saying? He only missed 6 throws, but he only had 197 yards, 1 touchdown, and he was sacked twice. That's how you win the game. So the defense did what they were supposed to do. Didn't allow no touchdown passes, didn't allow any touchdown runs, made sure they got at Geno Smith, sacked him twice. You know what I'm saying? DJ Dallas tried to throw a pass. Mooney was right there and picked that bitch off. You know what I'm saying? Their run game, trash, 36 yards in total. It's that simple. Defense did its fucking job. When you look at the receivers, the only person that did anything was Tyler Lockett. He had 9 catches for 107 yards. He had 11.9 yards per catch. Everybody else, mediocre. DK Metcalf, 4 for 35. Travis Homer, 4 for 33. Noah Fant, 2 for 11. Dan Eskridge, 1 for 6. Kenneth Walker III, 2 for 5. Will Dissly was targeted twice and didn't get shit. So that's where you can't tell the defense a fucking thing. They did their job. They shut this offense down. We won. You know what I'm saying? And, oh, yeah, we're going to get to that, Terradome. Don't even worry about that. It's definitely the real. And Terradome, being a God-fearing man, I'm with you. He says, it's cool. The world calls it karma. The Bible says, 6:38, give, and it shall be given. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You'll get back. Yes, sir. So that's what it is. And when you look at it, D'Amico Ryans had a fantastic game. And he did exactly what the fuck he was supposed to do. We won 27-7. And we scored in every quarter except for the third. That's great. That's awesome. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? When you look at our offense, Trey Lance was 2 or 3 for 30 yards, and he had a 51.1 QBR, and he had a 99.3 rating. Jimmy Garoppolo was 13-21 for 154 yards and a TD, and of course he had the rushing TD. So what I see there is a disparaging difference. Jimmy Garoppolo had 21 times to throw the ball. Trey Lance had 3. Don't seem weird to anybody? Nobody feels like that's a little bit off? Sounds a little off to me. I'm just saying. Those are things that look a little confusing. Look at the run game. Jeff Wilson Jr., 18 carries for 84 yards. The man was averaging 4.7 yards a carry. That is fantastic. Deebo Samuel, 4 carries, 53 yards, 13.3 yards a carry. TDP, not very good, 2.4 yards a carry, 14 carries, 33 yards. Trey Lance, 3 carries, 13 yards. Averaging 4.3 yards per carry. You know what I'm saying? And you look at the passing offense. Brandon Ayuk, 5 catches, 63 yards, 12.6 yards a catch. Deebo, 5 for 44. Ross Dwelly, 1 for 38 and a TD. And he was standing pretty much wide open, you know what I'm saying? And he almost wound up not making that because he's slow. And that's unfortunately the situation. And the big issue with me is you had Jordan Mason, you had TDP, then you had Jeff Wilson Jr. Why wouldn't you give Jordan Mason a couple of carries when you saw TDP wasn't able to really get anything done? Why are you holding this kid back? And Kyle's very egotistical when it comes to that. He always wants an experienced guy. Here's the thing. People don't get experience without playing the game. It's like going to school for something and then you go out and try to get a job in that profession, but all you hear in the end is, sorry, you're not qualified. You don't have enough experience. Well, how the fuck am I supposed to get the experience if you don't hire me? That's how that works. So, what's going on, Jerome Davis? He says, what's poppin', Niner fan? Trey was used like an off-road truck. Kyle fucked that up, but I'm glad we got Jimmy instead of Sudfeld. I mean, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is what I'll say is, what's going on, Jasmine Payne? Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in. If you're here, hit that like and subscribe button. Here's the simple situation about, Jimmy Garoppolo is you don't need to change a playbook. You just run the same shit you've been running for the past couple of years. And that's all he's really going to do. You saw Jimmy Garoppolo things when Jimmy Garoppolo came in the game. Kyle's been masking this dude's deficiency for several years. It's not hard to just go back to old play calls. Outside of the offensive line, maybe not knowing certain things, but that's easy to communicate. Trent Williams knows those plays. So does Mike McGlinchey. So it's real easy for them to communicate to Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, and Spencer Burford what you're supposed to be doing. Hey, this protection goes for this. This goes for that. Those things are obvious. It's not hard to do that. But at the end of the day, what happens? You wind up running those plays because you've been running them for several years, and you seem to be okay with it. For as much as you try to get rid of Jimmy, as much as you hated him, as much as you didn't care for him, seemed to look good yesterday. You seem to know how to call those plays for him right when he got in. Coincidence? I think not. So, the other good thing, like I said, defense. They pitched the shutout. Let me tell y'all about a young man that I knew was going to be a baller. And I told everybody he was going to be used like this. He is a safety hybrid linebacker by the name of Talanoa Hufanga. Shout out to the Tongan people. Throw them T's up. I'm telling you, bro, that young kid is a superstar in the making. Talanoa Hufanga, through 2 games, has 17 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 3 passes defense, 1 interception. That is great for a safety. And he's leading the team in tackles, mind you. He is leading the team in tackles. The person right behind him is Dre Greenlaw. After that, Charvarius Ward. After that, Nick Bosa. Then Fred Warner. Fred's usually the guy that leads our teams in tackles, but as of right now, it's only 2 games in, obviously, so we know how that works. But the crazy thing is when Jimmy Ward gets back, Talanoa's only going to get better. Because they'll have Jimmy Ward guard the tight ends. They'll have Jimmy Ward do Jimmy Ward shit. And Talanoa Hufanga is going to continue to explode. People mark my words. That young man, as long as he stays healthy and he keeps balling the way he's balling, he's going to wind up on that top 100 list next year. And he's definitely at least going to the Pro Bowl at a minimum. If he don't make the Pro Bowl and he has a Pro Bowl caliber season, then you always know that the Pro Bowl is a fucking popularity vote any goddamn way. But the defense looked fantastic yesterday. Consistent pressure on Geno Smith. Things didn't work out very well. We had 2 interceptions. We had 2 sacks. We barely allowed anything as far as numbers from a defensive standpoint. I just read that to you. So you come in and you look, and the funny thing is Trey Lance didn't get sacked, but Jimmy Garoppolo did. Why? Because he's a statue. And there was times where you just when he got hit by that corner the other day, I think it was a cornerback. When he got hit by the corner, I was like, move! Do you not see this dude? He took it right there. Move! Don't stare down the receiver. Don't look dead at him. And what do? You stare the receiver down. You look dead at him. And even though he got the ball out, that wasn't a penalty call for roughing the passer because it was almost simultaneous. The ball went out and he got smacked. But that's part of the situation that happens. You know what I'm saying? So special teams was great all day yesterday until Ross Dwelly fucked them out of looking fantastic. I would have gave special teams an A+, but I got to give them just an A, only based on the fact that Ross Dwelly fucked up and did block that dude and allowed them to get a block field goal and took that motherfucker to the house. That's how that works. You know what I'm saying? The offense, I get them about a B. You know, the offensive line is continuing to gel. Hopefully Kyle doesn't screw Spencer Burford and take him out once Daniel Brunskill is healthy, because then you know what you're going to really have? You're going to have damn near the same exact offensive line. The only difference is going to be left guard and center if you take Spencer Burford out, who pretty much has earned that job. And he's playing very well. The line is it's a work in progress, but it's been fantastic. Now, we play Denver next week. Yes, it's Russell Wilson, but Denver hasn't looked good. Jerry Jeudy's out. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Surtain is out. So there's ways we can exploit things against them and be able to win this game. But now it's back to the same old bullshit that we normally run, and we got to hope that our offense can do what it needs to do versus the Denver defense, you know. And we got to hope that Bradley Chubb doesn't get back there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe DJ Jones is over there. You know, so it's a tough sell, man. It's really hard. And our defense played well. I'll give them an A+. I'm not going to say I give them anything less than such because they were fantastic. Right game looked good. Another game where we were over 100 yards rushing. We had 189 this game. I think we had 184 the last game. And that's all combined. We haven't had a 100-yard rusher yet. But as a combined unit, we're always over 100 yards. But that's one thing about Shanahan's system. It's actually great for running backs. His system is better for running backs than it is for QBs. And that's what people don't realize. You know, like if you're a running back, you're going to succeed in the system, man. And you can be a nobody. He'll turn you into somebody really quick. That one is, as long as the plays are run properly, you can hit the holes right, and then those blocks are there. Oh, you can get busy in this offense. Very, very busy. So, it really hurts, man. It just hurts a lot that we did all these great things in the game, man, and now it sucks. It was reported that Danny Gray had some choice words for Jimmy Garoppolo. A lot of people saying it's false, but he was pissed off that he was wide open and Jimmy didn't hit him. Here's the thing, Danny. Sorry, you're obsolete. Unless you start running some real routes and becoming a polished receiver and all-around type of guy to become probably one of the nastiest slot dudes with that kind of speed that you have is dope, then you won't see the ball. Jimmy don't throw deep. That's not what he does. That 84-yard bomb that you caught from Trey Lance in that first preseason game, it's the only 84-yard bomb you're going to catch. If you ain't getting that shit from Jimmy Garoppolo, if you notice, there were several balls that were underthrown, and because the receiver came back and created the contact, that's where the penalty was. And to be honest with you, Pete Carroll was rightfully pissed off. You can't call a pass interference penalty on an uncatchable ball. Both of those balls, nobody's going to get that shit. Pause. But now, Danny Gray's wasted. And Trey Sermon, wasted pick. They already cut him. This team does that sometimes. It seems like the only rounds they hit in are the later rounds, like the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. So that tells you something. that we've got some questions that need to be answered. But what I will say is we got the W. We won. We beat them 27-7. Technically speaking, Willie doesn't allow that. We probably beat them 30-0. Jimmy came in, played admirably. I'll give him his credit for that much. 13-21, 154 yards and a TD. He also took a sack, but the yardage all came before halftime. Then after halftime, you automatically saw who he was. He showed up to be the same guy that he's always been. I was just hoping and praying that he didn't throw an interception. And he almost did. Quandre Diggs just dropped it. That's all it was. He dropped it. You saw the ball being tipped. You saw certain things happening. Like, these are the things that happen when Garoppolo was in the game. This ain't nothing new. And if you ever watch Niner games, you're a true Niner fan, you'll know. So for the casual people that are out there and all you do is pick the phone up and look to see if we won or not, you're a happy camper. For me, this hurts me tremendously to the core because I just bought a jersey for a young kid who was sabotaged by his own head coach. I know a lot of people don't believe that. I had a guy that's in a group chat that we're in on Facebook tell me that it was a tinfoil conspiracy. That's all well and good. That's your prerogative. That's your idea. That's fine. I'm sorry. Kyle does not like mobile quarterbacks, let alone a black quarterback, because he's never really had one. He only had one in RG3, and we know what happened there. He has one in Trey Lance, and look what happened now. So, at the end of the day, it's a win. We are 1-1 in the division. We're 1-1. Pretty much everybody is 1-1 because the Rams won, we won, and the Cardinals came back and won, which I'm pissed off because I was really banking on them losing. But it is what it is. So now the division's all tied up again. So it just continually happens. Rick Diaz came in and he said, my brother, the offensive line has got to now protect Jimmy. Now Jimmy G. We're down one quarterback. They went down. Now we got to protect the quarterback, and that offensive line better shape up. Correct? Yeah, it's got to shape up, man. We have to continue to get better. But we'll see. Time will tell. So do I think we make the playoffs? It's up in the air, man. We were 3-5 with Jimmy as the starter before, so and the crazy thing about it is, as much as the team decided to say that they didn't want Lance in there because it was messing with Jimmy's leadership and his building continuity with reps and stuff like that. It's crazy how the first touchdown of the season was thrown by none other than Trey Lance. When we were getting our ass handed to us versus the Green Bay Packers, who gave us a shot in the arm before halftime? Trey Lance. And then on top of that, when we were getting our ass handed to us in that Seattle game and Jimmy Garoppolo had a phantom injury, who came in and played for him? Trey Lance. And he played very well. When we needed a win versus Houston, who came in and got that W? Trey Lance did that. When we played the Arizona Cardinals, who screwed that up? Kyle Shanahan with a bum-ass fucking college-style offensive game plan that was running with Trey Lance. Like, I don't even understand. You dress Travis Benjamin instead of Jawan Jennings. There's a variety of things I could go over. Oh, and one more thing. I find it odd how we're further away from the red zone. We're far enough away. It's 4th and 8, but you want to go for it with Jimmy Garoppolo? But it's 4th and 1, and you wouldn't do that with Trey Lance? And our run game was massacring this fucking Seattle defense? Really? Weird, Kyle. Why would you do that? Doesn't seem suspect to anybody. Seems suspect to me. I'm just saying. These are facts. Not disputable. Look at it. Why would you have less yards and a better quarterback and a better running situation because they have to account for the quarterback, and you don't want to try it then to go for it. You just kick the field goal, but you have a lesser quarterback, non-mobile, and you want to try this on 4th and 8? I'm not understanding what's going on here. You're not helping. Like, you got to make me – that has to make sense to me. I'm keeping it a buck. It's got to really make sense. And it doesn't. So, we're on to the Denver Broncos. We'll see what happens. Like I said, this should be another dub. Everybody is definitely, suffering over there in Denver. Looks like Russ is having a little bit of a hard time meshing with the guys in the offensive line and everything like that. So we'll see what happens. But Denver right now looks ripe for the picking, so we should be able to get in there and get it going. The other beautiful thing about right now is, guys, we have interceptions in both games. That's the fantastic part about this. Gibson had an interception yesterday. Mooney had an interception yesterday. Those are the things that we are looking at, and that's the beauty of it. Our defense is coming together, making plays, and doing the right things. So when you look at it, Huff's got an interception because he had that one in the Bears game. Charvarius has one. Tashawn Gibson has one. That's already 3 on the season. And 1 from one of our safeties. So I like that. Actually, I'm sorry, it's 2 from two safeties because technically speaking, Gibson is a safety. So I love that. I love what the defense is doing. Currently on the season right now, we've got 4 sacks. Nick Bosa has 3. Samson Ebicom has 1. But the pressure is being created so we can get to the quarterback. When we face these more statuesque quarterbacks and these guys stand in the pocket, that number's going to skyrocket because we're going to be killing guys. Like dudes who can't move and run away, they're going to have a hell of a time trying to make sure that they get away from the guys that we have. You know what I'm saying? We're facing still a guy who's a little bit mobile in Russell Wilson. He's not as crazy mobile as he has been, but Russ is still elusive. You're not going to discount that much. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely looks to me like we're hopefully going to have a good season. We got a couple of games that we can play and probably get a couple of W's. Rick Diaz says my brother Kyle is a stubborn mule, very stubborn, and he knows that, and you know that. That's why our starting quarterback is down, and he knows it all. That's the truth. Kyle does know and understand that that's the situation. He definitely does. So, with that being said, man, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I'm going to get out of here. Once again, 49ers win 27-7. Unfortunately, we lost our starting quarterback for the year. We're now back to dealing with Jimmy Garoppolo all year long. So, I feel bad because now my guy Super Dave has to keep drinking his Pepto-Bismol because we don't know what's going to happen when it comes to Jimmy Garoppolo. You know he's weird like that. He's very odd. But other than that, man, that's all I really have on the game. I watched it from start to finish. Shout out to my dog Brandon. Having the playback there, man. If he didn't have it, I probably would have had to go to the bar and watch, which is cool. But, I mean, watching it with my fellow faithful and watching it with my guys that I do podcasting with, it's nice. And believe me, if I had the audio of how I went the fuck off from yesterday, oh, man, people would trip out. I don't know if you can, record what you say in playback or something, but, yeah, I went in, man. I went insane. I was really pissed off, and I'm lucky that my wife wasn't home because she would have definitely kicked me out of the house and told me to calm down. But thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate everybody. I'll be back on later today. I got to hit up with the round check at 6 o'clock. Most likely me and my dogs from the Forever Faithful podcast are going to go right around 7. So it's definitely going to be crazy. And, yeah, Rocky Mountain Razorback, man, I know. I saw that. Yeah, man, I'm not going to repeat myself, but I'll say this. It was not good. There was a lot of cursing, and there was a lot of yelling, and I was really extremely frustrated, and it just killed me that when Jimmy came in the game, once again, we threw the ball like nobody's business. But when Lance was in there, we couldn't trust him to do so. You mean to tell me you couldn't put Danny Gray in for one play and just tell him, go? And that's a decoy to be able to go ahead and do that? Now teams ain't worried about that. They don't give a fuck. You can put Danny Gray in there and go, look, hey, man, just let that dude go over the top. Why? Jimmy ain't finna him any fucking way. He throws the ball behind receivers. Fuck makes you think he's finna get it in front of him. So, kind of is what it is, man. And teams are honestly happy now. Defensive coordinators literally took a sigh of relief. They're like, oh, we just got to play Jimmy? All right, man, cool. Even Jalen Ramsey, after he got cooked by the Buffalo Bills, I'm 100% sure he's looking and going, well, at least we just got fucking Jimmy. We don't have to worry about Lance and this crazy ass. The teams are happy. You know what I'm saying? So that's the crazy thing. What's my gram to one? So let me actually put that up real quick before I get up out of here. I have it here, and there it is in the banners. No, wrong banner. So that's me. You can find me here on YouTube, Niner Game Podcast. Like and subscribe on Twitter. That's at SwiftD and 49er_Dion on Instagram. Instagram, I don't really talk too much about the games. I more so do like my weekly game picks. And Jesus Christ, y'all, my shit looks bad right now. Fuck, these teams did not win the right way. But that's it right there. 49er_Dion on IG, at SwiftD on Twitter. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate the love and support. Shout out to everybody who came through. Terradome, CJ Gray, CG Ruthless, Rick Diaz, Brandon, Crazy Juice, all of David McNew, Cook Sports, all of my guys, man. Everybody that came through and hung out with your boy, even if you didn't comment, I appreciate you taking the time out to listen to me. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. Like I said, I'll be back at 6 o'clock with the round check with CG Ruthless and the team, and then probably right after that, I'll be right on at 7 with the Forever Faithful podcast. So y'all stay faithful. Y'all stay blessed. Everybody stay safe. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And at the end of the day, even though I don't like it, man, and I don't like some of the things that's going on, it's about this right here, man. Go Niners.